How's it, Bills fans? This is the Triple Coverage Podcast here on the Built-in Buffalo Network, brought to you by 7-1 Slicks Barbershop and Broadway in Depew and Lancaster Indoor Bounce House with the Safari Adventure Arcade. Just had my son's 6th birthday party at that bounce house over the weekend. Man, what a blast that was. The Bills have basically the game for the division here coming up this week against the Patriots, coming off 2 straight victories now. We get the Patriots coming off a bye week. We'll get into what we thought about the Cincinnati game a little bit, and we'll go into what we're expecting for the Patriots game as well. What's up, Shoot?
Nothing much. Yeah, big game this week. Big win last week. Great weather. One of those snow games where it wasn't too windy and ended up being a beautiful snow game. So, good game against the Bengals. Got the job done, and now keep the hopes of the division title alive.
Scott Casson, what's going on, buddy?
Lance Nelson, how the heck are you? Doing well. Excited for big divisional game this week. Obviously, last time they played Sunday night in Buffalo in the whiteouts, the rivalry jerseys, and the Bills kind of laid an egg. They turned the ball over 3 times, I think, and kind of beat themselves. So they take care of the football this week. Let's hope they can do that. And for them to win the long shot's kind of or for them to win the division is kind of a long shot, but maybe they can at least prolong their time of death a little bit by the win this weekend.
Yeah, let's get in a little bit of a reaction from the Bengals game here. First of all, obviously, we all have to thank Christian Benford for making an amazing play and flipping that game completely on its head. Scott, what were your thoughts? I mean, I was sort of getting towards the negative train there for a little bit, and I think that play definitely reinvigorated the whole stadium. They just erupted. But what were you thinking when you saw that, and how big of a play was that from Benford?
Yeah, it was incredible. After the Cook fumble on the goal line, kind of felt like all the air came out of the stadium because they were down a score. Kincaid had just scored. They just got to stop. It's like, all right, like they're going to then Cook fumbled. And then the Bengals march right down and score. It's like, all right, down 11. I think it was like 8 minutes left. And my buddies and I were saying in the stadium, like, hey, if they can score before like 4 minutes, we got a shot. Then we'll be down 3, 4 minutes. Well, they scored 3 times before 4 minutes left. So, the Benford play after the Josh run, which was huge. And then it's like, oh, well, here they go. They're marching right down the field. They're just going to score, and it's never going to matter. And then
that was right after they scored in like a minute, right? So it was like 8 minutes left, right?
Yeah.
And then they scored it. And yeah, we were all talking about the time of that drive as well, being around a minute. Very, very workmanlike. I mean, they just totally dominated for that entire drive there. And then Benford, obviously, that's an incredible play. What do you think, Shoot?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those plays where you're looking for a turnover. You're looking for that big momentum changing play, and it's one of those plays that whether you're at the game or watching at home, you never really kind of forget because it's just such a big play for a big game. And Benford, he's playing some really great football, and just very timely, and really kind of, I think, even for Cincy, kind of took the wind out of the sails there. And really changed the entire game. So, yeah, Benford playing phenomenal football right now, and that play is one of the many that he's had, and especially the past 2 games, but the last few weeks that he's really, really shown why he got paid and why he deserved to get paid.
Yeah, any other thoughts on Benford there, Scott? I cut you off a little bit there.
Nothing really. Just it was actually a pretty smart play by Burrow. He saw the corner blitz coming and just tried to get it out to an uncovered Chase as quick as he could. It kind of looked like he never got it. Just kind of shot-putted it out there, and he didn't get much mustard on it. So Benford was able to react and make the play. So awesome heads-up play by Benford to get his hands on it, let alone catch it. How often do you see the guys just when they do that, just tip it and bat it down? Still would have been a remarkable play, but to catch it, outrun Jamar Chase of all people was awesome. He didn't get Defensive Player of the Week. That went to his brother, as he put it, Rasul Douglas. I'm sure that was a topic of conversation for them this week.
The funniest part about that play is after the game, Benford in the interview was talking how like they teach you you're not supposed to jump there. Like you're supposed to stay on the ground.
Not ever.
Yeah,
ever.
And his whole spiel about it was just funny. Where sometimes you just do what instincts and do what you kind of your mind says, even though that hey, I probably shouldn't do this, but worked out. And man, I mean, also a phenomenal call. I was blanking who was on the call there for the announcers, but phenomenal call on that play as well. One of those calls where just really put the excitement in that for anybody watching on TV and kind of what it felt like it to be at the game. So I'm blanking on who it was, but phenomenal call there as well.
Was Greg Olson part of the? Yeah, you mentioned you saw Greg Olson after that. Was it him that made the call, or was it somebody else? Who's his partner?
No, Greg's the color guy. I saw the guy. He walked right by me, leaving the stadium. But I can't remember who they have with Greg. But yeah, it was a good call. Gift wrapped, I think he said it was, which is pretty well.
Joe Davis. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
So that good call. And it's funny. People were talking about why did this guy do that? There was a play I think where somebody kind of like jumped in the air and then like kicked their foot out at a guy when Allen was running. And it's like, these guys are we're human beings. We're instinctual beings. Like we're still animals at the end of the day. And like guys are gonna be like just having random, instinctual motions at certain points where they do things that may be unorthodox. And it's like, like even the best athletes still are going to have sort of like involuntary reactions to things at times and stuff like that. So it's definitely interesting. I was in the player of the week thing. I was like, oh, they did not want to give it to two Bills in the same week, but then I guess it would have been also him twice in a row. But it's like, I don't know, if the guy earns it, then why can't you just give it to the guy that earned it? And it seemed like to me that would have been Benford, like to a T. That would have been him earning it 2 weeks in a row. And I don't know, you just gotta give it to the best guy.
Yeah, I mean, if they're worried about giving it to the same person too many times, I mean, they might as well name it after Josh Allen at this point. He gets it like 4 times a year.
Absolutely. He got it again. Obviously, AFC Player of the Week this past week here. Tell us more about, Ben, what you thought about Allen's game and just how he sort of took over against Cincinnati, sort of reintroducing himself maybe into the MVP conversation too.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a few more of those performances to earn another MVP, I think. But I mean, it's one of those things where, week in, week out, you're not really shocked when Josh Allen takes over, but it's kind of become sort of some of the identity of this team is, if it's not working, have Superman put his cape on and let him go to work. And that's what he did. I mean, he did it obviously on the ground, through the air. It's unbelievable what we are able to watch week in and week out as Bills fans. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of similar to that Ravens game week 1. I think Ravens game people thought was a little bit more over than the Bengals was. But regardless, he did it again. And going to need a few more of those performances if you want to win the division, if you want to get right back in that race there. And down in the playoffs, obviously, you're always going to need him to play his best. But it's that time of the year where he starts to really take over.
Yeah, Josh was awesome. The touchdown in the first quarter, I think it was, the one to Shakir was just nuts. To, 1, extend the play, and 2, be smart enough to know, hey, the guy in between me and Shakir isn't looking at me. I can throw it right beside his head. He's not going to see it. Like, there's no risk in this pass getting interception because he's not looking at me. And then to get hit as he throws it, put it right on the money, and great play by Shakir. Like, if that was on 4th down too. If that doesn't happen, if he doesn't make that play, we're not having any of this conversation because they don't win that game. They're on 14-0, then it's 21-0, or excuse me, 14-3, and then it's 21-3, and then Benford probably doesn't make that play because the Bengals run the ball second half. So that was an awesome play to keep him in it in the first half. And whenever, like Josh said it after the Ravens game, don't leave early. Not that this game was one of those, but because when you got 17 on your sideline, you're always.
And with that throw to Shakir too, not only just the ability to read everything you said, Scott, but even there was 2 defenders on the left side of Shakir, so he has to throw that ball to his back right shoulder. Read that they also overread the play, so I mean, I think Ben Kurt went over that play and kind of dissected it of like just how freakish it is to be able to make a play like that with a guy right in your face, being able to read the defense, which way they're going, and then thread the needle pretty much right over the defender's shoulder. I mean, just week in, week out, we see this guy do things that we never thought we'd see.
Yeah, there's no questioning any bit of Josh Allen's capability of being an accurate passer after that one. I think that's like you said, the laser that he threw doesn't look like he was able to get a full windup either. So it's sort of just like got it with the flick of his wrist that, that hard and fast on a line to Shakir. Surprised he got it past the defender that was in his face too. And then getting it through 3 defenders and Shakir kind of catching it out of his eye at the last second and making that grab was pretty impressive all the way around for me. And Josh Allen himself obviously has just cemented himself obviously as the premier quarterback in the league. There's a lot of people that I talk to at times, there are some people still that think he's overrated and things like that. And I don't really understand, if you're watching that game, how you can say that any other quarterback really rises to that level for their, with their game. I just don't see it. I mean, and maybe I don't watch every second of every single game, but you're not getting Brock Purdy making that play or people like that. So it's sort of a fun thing. I mean, there's still people out there that do think Allen is overrated. I would have to disagree. Dawson Knox game, he came out. We talked about it last week before the game. Specifically, I think Scott mentioned it the most there with Dawson Knox having to be a factor in the passing game for the Bills to have some success, and wanted to see what he could bring to the table. And whether it was joking or not, though, Scott, how do you think it? Dawson Knox showed up right when we needed him, and it's good to see that he made some pretty athletic plays and looked pretty good out there overall.
Yeah, he 6 for 93, which pretty much doubled up his receiving yards for the season. Not actually, but pretty close. He was awesome. And from the first play of the game, when they ran that little play action, stuck up the linebackers, he sneaks in behind it. It's an easy completion for 20 yards. And the Bills are at their most dangerous, yes, when they're running the ball with James Cook, but they maybe have the best 1-2 punch of receiving tight ends in the NFL. Maybe not. You can argue about it. But Dawson Knox, yes, he's a good blocker, but he can catch the ball. He had, I think it was 10 touchdowns in 2021 before Kincaid came into the offense. He is a receiving threat. Just his role in this offense isn't asked to do that as much. So if they can get Knox, just teams even have to think about him a little bit. That opens up the middle of the field more for Shakir or Kincaid, who was also pretty good on Sunday. And then Hawes had a touchdown. So the Bills are at their best when they're running the ball, getting the tight ends involved. Because, yeah, you say they don't have a number one receiver. The receivers can't win one-on-one matchups. And that may be true, but our tight end sure can. The points and the yards count the same, whether it's a tight end or a receiver catching it.
Really opens up that Shakir screen for him, doesn't it?
Not so much that, but he does lead the league for receptions off of screens, and it's an extension of the run game. Take it as you will.
Has Dawson Knox earned the right to be to run the jet sweep again after his performance?
No,
the team's not going to expect us to run that twice, so I think we should look out for that. But then again, we ran a jet sweep earlier in the year for a touchdown, and no one complained then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the tight ends, we said it before the game, last show about the Bengals are, I mean, first of all, they're horrible. Like it might be the worst defense against tight ends in the history of the NFL. Like it's week in and week out. Tight ends are just killing them. But I do want to give Joe Brady a little bit of a shout out. I know I'm very critical of Joe Brady. A lot of people are very critical of Joe Brady. But he came out, bro. First play of the game, Scott alluded to it, the play action. They came out in that same set that they ran 29 times against Pittsburgh. And, what are they thinking? They're thinking, oh, okay, we've seen this on film. We saw it on film 30 times last week. and they expect the run. Linebackers come way up and boom, hit Dawson Knox wide open. Huge gain. I believe it was 30+ yard, 32 yards, something like that. So yeah, I mean, I do want to give Joe Brady that credit as well of knowing, hey, they're very, very liable given tight ends, big games, and they attacked it. But yeah, I mean, Dawson Knox, I do think sometimes he gets a little bit too much hate because of his contract, but he still is a good tight end. Like, yes, maybe he is not, living up to the contracts that he has, but he is still a part of this offense that can be crucial to the success. So, he came through in a big way, and I think maybe with Kincaid now coming back as well, it could be one of those things where Kincaid gets going, Knox gets going, the offense and the passing game kind of gets going as well. So, it was a good sign that we were able to take advantage of that bad defense against tight ends. If the tight ends didn't do anything, I think it would have been a different conversation as well, and a little bit more concern when it came to that room as well. But they got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, for that contract, I would definitely love to see like 7 to 10 games with this sort of performance, but it's just not going to happen. You got other guys that probably have to too, but when Kincaid is out, which seems to be a thing for him here and there, we do need a guy like Dawson Knox to step up, and he's been there. He hasn't had great games without Kincaid in there, but Kincaid this week coming back from an injury, probably not 100% full go, and Knox was able to use him as a decoy at times and help out a ton in the offense. All right, something a little bit more of a downer, but we do have to talk about it. Is it time to worry about James Cook fumbling the football? Ben, go ahead and start us off with this one if you'd like, and let us know your thoughts on James Cook's fumble. I mean, that, like Scott mentioned earlier, that really sort of took the wind out of the stadium for a bit, and luckily the Bills were able to go down and make change the game in the other direction, but it really was looking bleak sort of when that happened.
Yeah, I think it is really. I mean, I know that that one was a big one, but he also had the other one that I guess technically, which was a weird play in the game. I remember being confused why they were able to keep their timeout after they challenged, and they said, "Oh well,"
because they won the challenge.
Yeah, but the whole thing about, oh well, then this ball still comes back, and it's just the way it was all weird. It was definitely in the stadium at first. I was like, wait, that's a little confusing. Why are they? I know they won the challenge, but at the same time, it just all was kind of confusing with the penalty involved and everything like that. But he still did that, counted as a fumble, not lost. He has 11 fumbles on the year, only 5 of them lost, but a fumble's a fumble. He has 11 fumbles on the year, 5 of them lost. So he's
James Cook has 11 fumbles?
Or sorry, not 11, 6. 6 fumbles. Misread right there. 6 fumbles, 3 of them lost. I'm reading his career right now. I was looking right at it. 6 fumbles, though, 3 lost. Over half of his career fumbles have been this year. And I think it is a time to really kind of nail that in with James Cook. You even saw a video today of the Patriots having 2 guys in number 4 James Cook jerseys practicing as James Cook, and they were practicing punching the ball out. Like that's all they were doing with these 2 running backs that were supposed to be mirroring how James Cook plays. And it's something that I think teams are starting to see. Like, hey, in college, he didn't even fumble once, if I'm correct on that. Didn't fumble a single time. Obviously fumbled on his first carry, but 6 fumbles is I think a sign of concern. And as Bob just mentioned, you have 4 in the last 2 games. Yes, only 2 of them were lost in the last 2 games, but at the end of the day, if you're losing the ball, whether your team recovered it or not, it's an issue. So, I think it's something that you saw him after that fumble in this game kind of really start to protect it more. And I think it's something that if he can't gain that extra yard sometimes, obviously if it's a crucial point, go for that extra yard. But if it's not a crucial point, hang on to the football first. And he's got to start to really, really put his mind on that.
Yeah, when James Cook came into the league, he fumbled on his first carry, as you mentioned, and then fumbling was kind of a problem his second year. Like, it wasn't a huge problem, but it was the fumbles and the drops. Just overall concentration, ball security seemed to be kind of a problem. And then last year, there were no drops. There was only 1 fumble. Like, it was like, okay, awesome. Like, he fixed it. And now this year, it's kind of all come back. He hasn't had the drops because they don't throw him the ball. But the fumbling thing is an issue, and it looks like a concentration thing. He's just been kind of loose with the ball. I don't know if he's thinking about trying to make the play. Like the fumble on the goal line, it looked like he just took the handoff sloppily, and then he kind of reached it when he didn't need to. And just keep it tight. Like I think it was first down from the 3. I want to say, like even if you don't get in on that play, like that's fine. Like just time and score in your head. Like it's a thing you always say in basketball, but it applies here too. Just know the situation. So hopefully it's just a concentration thing, and it's something he can work on, and it doesn't become an issue. But like I was a little nervous at the end of the game. We were icing it, giving it to him because his ball security was a problem, especially when it was slippery out there. So again, hopefully it's an easy concentration fix, but it's not great when the guy who is our second best offensive player and best offensive playmaker with the ball in his hands, you don't know if it's always going to be in his hands.
Yeah, for sure. It's not only that he fumbling anytime isn't great for your chances to win a game, right? But the times that he fumbles seems to be more critical, and it's like, man, this is really setting the team back in this situation. We talk about situational football and things. The situations in which Cook has fumbled, it just really, really hinder the Bills' chances at times. And luckily, like you said, Scott, you're hoping to get a touchdown before the 4-minute mark there. And luckily Allen took over and went down in a minute. And then the defense turned the ball over twice in a row. And then that really sort of put the game away, and they picked up James in that situation. But that's not going to happen every time. And when you're at the goal line, you just cannot lose the ball there. And as bad as it is to lose the ball at any time, it's been like, first play of a game, he fumbles, or, this time trying to go in and get closer.
Houston is when we were driving, and we were trying to get back into the game, and then fumbles on a big play right when we're driving. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly. He's lucky. So the one on the penalty, he's lucky that wasn't a touchback. Like,
yeah.
Foot the other way, and it's not our ball anymore.
Was that the drive that was the 4th and 4, and we ended up missing it? 4th and 3?
No, that was the same drive. He fumbled on the 1. The penalty took us back to the 30, and then we drove down.
And they did that weird review and everything. So it was called a touchdown on the field, but they still let him review it, and they threw a penalty, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. And then they finally sorted it out.
Me.
Should have asked you. Should have stood up and yelled over. All right. 7-1 slicker of the week here. Jordan Phillips, he got the big tip on the interception by AJ Epinesa. So we're going to give him the 7-1 slicker of the week award presented by 7-1 Slicks Barbershop on Broadway in Depew. Check out Dennis and his staff there. Get your cut today. You can go to the Cut app, or you can scan this QR code on the screen right now to book your cut with Dennis and his crew at 7-1 Slicks Barbershop, Broadway in Depew. What do you think of that?
For the 7-1 slicker of the week, you were talking about Christian Benford not getting back-to-back weeks of AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Did you have the same philosophy for picking 7-1 slicker of the week, that you didn't want to give Benford a second one? And
it's only linemen.
Benford's ineligible to compete for this award because he does not.
Although he blitzed Vandermark and Alex Anderson.
He did line up. He did line up on the line a couple times. So maybe we should qualify him if they line up on the line of scrimmage.
If they do something that an offensive lineman or defensive lineman would do.
It's a new segment for 7-1 Slicks, as they just came on as our sponsor, and we're gonna tinker with it. And Scott and I.
They just came on 13 weeks ago. It's new for everybody.
Exactly. It's pretty new. So we're still crafting it. And, this is the idea is offensive or defensive lineman, but I don't have any problem giving it to the same person twice in a row if they perform up to that standard. It's a big standard to get 7-1 slicker of the week here. So, what did you think? Any other highlights about Jordan Phillips' game there? The line as a whole, I guess nobody really stood out a ton. Osiris Torrance had a nice week on the offensive line as well. And no surprise after sitting down with us Friday at Wignuts that he went out there and played at a high level. I think, being around Scott does that to people. That's why, I think that I'm allowed to have such great success here on the microphone, just being on the same show here with Scott Casson really elevates my game. So, shout out to Osiris Torrance too. Thanks for sitting down with us, and it was a great performance for him as well. Anything else on Jordan Phillips or any other lineman specific from last week?
I will say he's exceeded what I've thought from him on the season. I did not expect him to be as impactful as he's been. Now he obviously hasn't been perfect, but definitely exceeded expectations for me personally.
Yeah, just playing in as many games as he has probably exceeded a lot of people's expectations. Darnell Savage was claimed and will join the Bills roster. Scott, take us through your thoughts on Darnell Savage, if you think there's any chance or what you think maybe his role or impact might be with the Bills here.
Yeah, Darnell Savage, he a Terp. He's a Maryland guy. First round pick of the Packers back in the day and started all 5 years he was there at safety. He has a lot of experience, kind of bounced around a little bit the last couple of years. His performance has dipped, but he's still pretty young. I think he's only 28. And with Jamarcus Ingram leaving, they needed a body in the secondary. He isn't a corner, so isn't exactly the same spot as Jamarcus Ingram. But as far as waiver wire pickups in December, and Darnell Savage is about as good as you're going to get. So I don't know if he ever sees the field. I don't know if he'll dress in any games, but he's a good guy to have around. He's played a lot of football, played some playoff football. So good guy to have in the locker room.
Yeah, Scott just alluded to what I was going to say, played playoff football. So if you need him to, he's been in those environments. When he's in Green Bay, he's played in the weather before, so you don't have to worry about that. I did like him a lot when he was in Green Bay, obviously, though, as Scott mentioned, kind of, hasn't had the same success that he had early on in Green Bay. But again, a player that if you need to is definitely better than a lot of the other options at this point. If you were to bring somebody else in, don't have to worry then about calling Micah Hyde again and seeing if he's available to join the roster. We'll see if he ever sees the field. Hopefully, if he does see the field, it's not because somebody's injured. It's because he's just looking good in practice and they want to see what he's got. But I this late in the season, not bad.
Yeah, I'm not a big secondary guy. I'm not going to pretend to know too much about the guy. If he has to get on the field, I hope he can do as well, sort of like Jordan Poyer. We kind of hoped that he wouldn't have to get on the field, but he has had to get on the field, and it hasn't gone completely terrible. So as long as that's the case with Savage as well, I think we can be pretty happy. Like you mentioned, Scott, he is 28, so should have some juice left in him if he's called into action, and wouldn't be a bad idea to help spell some guys and keep people fresh down the stretch. So let's give some quick thoughts quickly before we get into this week against the Patriots. Let's talk a little bit about the division and playoff scenarios. As you know, the Bills have to win this game, or the division will be won by the New England Patriots. But if they do win this game, the Bills would also need the Patriots to lose to either the Dolphins or the Jets. If all they do is lose one more time, or they would need the Patriots to lose to two more teams and the Bills win out in that scenario to take the division. Scott, run through any other divisional or playoff scenarios you had in mind here.
Yeah, that was the big one. Obviously, win and prolong the time of death on the division this week. But I wanted to talk a couple big games. The Chiefs, if they lose to the Chargers this week, they're pretty much completely out of it. And then also, I meant to put this on there, but I didn't. But the Indianapolis Colts, all of a sudden, playoff chances not looking great. But Phillip Rivers coming back to try to lead the charge. You guys excited to watch Phillip play? What do you think? You think he has anything left? He's been coaching high school, so he's mentally sharp.
I mean, I'm definitely interested. I saw that he so that his high school team he coaches, his son's high
They're
school
on the same
team,
offense.
same exact offense. Which I saw people saying like, is it good? Is that good for the high school, or is that bad that the Colts are running the same offense as them? Either way, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure when it comes Monday morning and if he's playing for them, which it looks like he will be a little bit sore. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see with Phillip Rivers when it comes to the playoff scenarios in general, though. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm kind of just at the point of like, Bills, handle what you can do, handle what your business, and go from there. I think, you can start to talk about, I guess, oh, you want to play this team or this team, but it's still so open with what the 4 seed, the 3, like really almost any seed can be, besides maybe the 1 and 2. You kind of maybe know at this point. So it's just, it's one of those things where I think in a week or two we'll have a better understanding of, hey, this is what we got to do if the Bills want to play, Indy first round, or if they don't, if they want to avoid Houston or whatever it is.
I don't think Indy's getting in.
Yeah, is Indy going to get in? There's so many different scenarios. Exactly, like this AFC is kind of just so jam packed with what can happen, that at the end of the day, just do what you can do and figure that out, and let everything else be what it needs to be, and then in 2-3 weeks we'll see how it's shaping up to be.
Yeah, I agree. The biggest gist of it is the Bills need to win every game here to achieve what they sort of set out to. I think we thought at the beginning of the season they would have 3 or 4 losses on the year, but now having them sort of quicker than we thought, can they run the table? They are now 13-1 in December since the past 3 years. So they do have the knack of running the table towards the end of seasons, and we'll see if they can do that. But it all starts with winning each game here to have a chance at like number 1 seed or the division. And they're also going to need a little help in that endeavor as well. Not impossible, but it's definitely not going to be an easy road to that if you want the 1 seed, which getting that 1 seed, I think, is pivotal to get a week off. Certainly would help not having to play a game that first wild card weekend. Especially if we're talking about Ed Oliver maybe returning and things of that nature for the playoffs, it would be really good to kind of get all those guys a week off heading into the divisional round. But that's again,
he was doing push-ups, and as everybody knows, that works the bicep a lot. So I think it means he's coming back soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
That was a joke. Push-ups don't use your bicep at all.
I understand.
Was for
what do you think about that, though? I mean, you think he's got a shot in the playoffs to return and actually make an impact?
Make an impact, I don't know, but very possibly. Like they've told us that he has, and I'm not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be one, so I don't know the exact time frame, and everybody is different. And like, what was Joe Burrow's quote for his turf toe injury? Like the time to recover, he said, "Well, yeah, but that's for a normal person." That Oliver's not a normal person, so he'll recover quicker than the average Joe. But one other thing on the playoffs is I think the Bills might be in a better shot if they don't win the division. Obviously, going on the road is going to be tough, and this team, I think they're 13-12 in their last 25 road games. So they're not the same as they used to be on the road over this past couple seasons. But if you take a look, like if they have to go into Jacksonville or even New England or Pittsburgh, like I think I would take that over having to play a team like the Texans again or the Chargers or something like that. So it's kind of shaping up for, as difficult as the road has been at times, if there was a year for them to be a wild card and make a run, like this would be it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not afraid of, coming from the 6 or the 5 seed, depending on, again, we don't necessarily want to go play in Houston, but if the road is Jacksonville or Pittsburgh on the road in the first round, that wouldn't scare me at all. And I would welcome that opportunity for this team. All right. If there's nothing else, we're going to go through the injury report. And for the Bills, it's the cleanest it's been in some time. Had Christian Benford mentioned here in the comments about being hurt. It sounds like maybe just getting stepped on and things, and the precautionary boot just to keep his foot fresh or toe, and doesn't seem like it's going to have him be in danger for suiting up this week. But we'll see how that plays out. Terrell Bernard logs 2 limited sessions thus far with his elbow. Cole Bishop good after his cramping episode. 2 limiteds for both Joey Bosa and Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown's definitely looking to play per the reports out there. Dalton Kincaid's been a full participant. Dawson Knox had a personal yesterday, but was a full participant today. And then Joshua Palmer, who I'm most intrigued about getting back for this offense, was limited both days. So hopefully trending in the direction of trying to suit up this week as well. Mitchell Trubisky was the only one who didn't practice today as he had an illness. But what do you guys think, Scott? What do you take away from this injury report? Is there anyone you're really looking for, chomping at the bit to have back this week?
Yeah, I love that they're getting healthy. This is really important. Like we joked about it earlier, like, oh, they had all these injuries, like get them out of the way early. Hopefully that's kind of what's happening. It was nice to, after the game on Sunday, not have a whole laundry list of guys added. Benford popping up in not even a boot. I'll call it an orthopedic shoe. People's grandmas wear those. It's not that serious. Isn't ideal, but it sounds like he's going to be okay from what we've heard. But getting Spencer Brown back would be awesome, because that O-line, when it's all 5 of them, not that Vandermark hasn't done a great job and he's been out there, but getting that whole offensive line back is huge. Just the camaraderie that those guys have, and how good we can run the ball with those 5. So if we can have the whole O-line healthy down the stretch and maybe a little bit fresher, because couple had a couple of weeks off, that's going to be huge with the games we got coming up, and then the games in January.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely nice to see it this small. I will say, when it comes to Bosa, just don't rush him, please. Like, if I know it's a big game, but just don't rush him. Even like similar with Bernard, like Shaq Thompson's playing well. You don't need to rush him back, especially because even before the elbow injury, it looked like he was playing through something that was easily affecting his play. So those are the 2 that I'm saying, hey, just don't rush it. Let him heal up. Spencer Brown, he did say that he is playing, right? I don't know if I missed that when you guys said it. Yeah, he said he is going to play. So that's going to be nice. Dawson Knox, I believe it was his wife was having a baby, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that around, that people were saying that his wife could be that he was having a child.
He wasn't having a baby, I know that.
Yeah, he wasn't. But if that is true, congratulations to him. But I'm going to agree with Lance, though, that Palmer's the one that I'm most intrigued to see back out there and see what they kind of have planned for his offense, because, you haven't really been able to see him consistently out there and consistently incorporated into the offense.
Yeah, and on the Patriots side, they got Terrell Jennings with 2 DNPs with a concussion. Harold Landry went from limited to did not practice today with a knee, so something to monitor there for Landry. Linebacker for the Patriots. Vidarian Lowe, abs, was limited both days. Robert Spillane showed up with a foot limited today on the injury report, and everyone else was basically full. So Barmore, Brendan Schooler, Tonga, and Wilson, all full participants. So they do have some guys on IR, as Scott willfully pointed out, some big names. Will Campbell, obviously, Milton Williams, to name the 2 probably top guys to look at when it comes to the Patriots team. So Milton Williams, we're going to talk about the offense here in just a minute. His absence is a big one. But if you haven't done so yet, guys, please like and share this. If you're on Facebook, like and share. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to that YouTube channel, and then share that out with your friends on X, like and repost. Really appreciate all the love, trying to get some help in the algorithm here, get that towards the top for us. Offensive preview, and I'm sorry, shout out to our sponsors, 716 Barbershop, Broadway and Depew, and Lancaster Indoor Bounce House. Very clean facility there at the Lancaster Indoor Bounce House. Go have some good, clean fun with your kids and let them bounce off the wall, literally, at that place. Offensive preview, guys. We talked about Milton Williams just now being out for the Patriots, and that sort of plays right into the Bills' strength this week with the run game. What else do you see for keys of the game on offense for the Bills, Scott?
Yeah, so obviously the Pats are coming in on a 10-game winning streak. Say what you want about their schedule, who they played, who they haven't played. If you win 10 games in a row in the NFL, you got a damn good team. So that's pretty impressive. But the biggest thing with the Bills, and I said it earlier, when the Bills played them back in October, they turned it over 3 times. When the Bills lose games, they pretty much always lose the turnover battle. You just got to take care of the ball. Talked about earlier with James Cook. He's got to take care of the ball. Josh threw a terrible pick in that game. He's got to be smart, and he will be. He's smart in big games. So just take care of the football and do what you do on offense, and everything should go just fine. You can say that in literally any Bills game, any football game, really. But the Pats aren't going to beat themselves. Drake May, I know it's just his second year, but he's been awesome. He's not going to give you too many. Their running backs seem to have figured out their fumbling problem. So win the turnover margin, win the game, take care of the football.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta, they have a great corner over there in Christian Gonzalez. Yes, you don't want to necessarily shy away from him, or at least like completely not target him, but at the same time, yeah, you want to minimize his impact. Attack. They're going to be flying around. You saw it against the Giants. They were flying around, may have had some hits that were questionable, maybe not the one on Dart, but the other one might have been a little questionable about somehow that wasn't a flag. So, be ready for them to come, and they're going to be looking to hit. So, yeah, hold on to the football as well. Just figure, do what you got to do what you have been doing with the offense here. Get the ground game going, and then utilize play action and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I want to see him take advantage over the middle of the field. Hopefully there. You mentioned the two corners pretty good for New England, so the outsides may be tough to make any hay with, but definitely with that play action game and the middle that, using the middle like we saw last week against Cincinnati, hopefully that can be open again for them, but maybe different characters, maybe guys like Shakir, like Scott mentioned before, if the two tight ends are going to get any attention, maybe some of these other receivers can, make some plays over the middle and keep this offense rolling, because I think we're going to need to be two-dimensional and not be able to. I don't think we're going to be able to just run it. We're going to have some success in the pass game. Obviously, I think that probably could be said for any NFL game, but I think this is true here. I don't think it's going to be the Pittsburgh game where we just run 30 times and have an easy game there. So, yeah, red zone. I think Scott mentions here we have to convert in the red zone. That's something the Bills have done fairly well, and I think they've scored on the majority of their first drives this season. So I think getting up early, if they get the ball first, or if they're on defense first, I think just scoring that first offensive possession, whether New England goes out and scores first or not, is very important for Buffalo. Try not to chase teams. That's going to be the theme here as we go down the stretch. Let's not chase the teams. Let's try to make sure we can try to play. This team's built to play with a lead, I think, and if we can do that as much as possible going down the stretch, that's going to be the best for this team. The turnovers and the penalties, though, we're going to say it every week. Obviously it's apparent. Bob says false starts on third, for sure. Like you have to play clean games in the NFL to win majority of them. So I think we're going to belabor that point because this team just hasn't, and they've been lucky at times that their quarterback is so darn good and able to. And then the defense has bailed them out last week with 2 straight turnovers to allow them to flip the game and have the win. But that's not going to happen every week, and hopefully it does. But if we can just eliminate the need for that to happen as much as possible, that's what you're going to be looking for to have success here, because they're going to need to try to run the table here to get a better seed if that's what they want. If they want the 1 seed, they do have to run the table and get some help, like we mentioned. So, staying clean is going to be huge, but they haven't necessarily done a great job of it, which is surprising, given that McDermott prides himself on such a disciplined preparation and process, but we haven't seen it on the field. So what do you guys think maybe is the biggest contributor to the Bills not having as much discipline as we'd like to see?
Well, first of all, I wanted to piggyback on the red zone thing. The Patriots defense is dead last in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage. They give up a touchdown at 73% of the time. It's the worst in the league. So the Bills can get in the red zone, they have to get 7 points. And then we'll talk about it in the defensive preview, but the Patriots offense is towards the bottom in touchdown percentage when they're in the red zone. So this game is going to be one turnover margin and who can get touchdowns in the red zone. But as far as the discipline thing, I don't think they've been undisciplined. Like the false starts, did they have? I don't remember a ton of false starts on Sunday. I was kind of drunk, but I don't remember a ton.
Yeah, I don't know if there were a ton on Sunday, but in the past games and the games they've lost, that's certainly been apparent.
Yeah, in the past games they were on the road, and you had a different right tackle, and you had a different left tackle, and I wasn't as worried about those false starts as those just kind of happen sometimes on the road. I don't think they've been as undisciplined. The biggest undiscipline has definitely been the turnover issue, as we've talked about. Like, you're not going to be able to turn the ball over and beat this team. So stay disciplined there, keep your concentration up, and keep penalties to a minimum, which like our offense has done a decent enough job at that.
Yeah. Yeah, even though in that Pittsburgh game, he cleaned it up. Like it was really all.
Yeah, the first half, exactly.
Yeah, all of them were real early. So, yeah, I mean, Sean McDermott teams typically are not super undisciplined. So it's something that he's going to emphasize down the stretch here. So I'm not super concerned with any of them. I'm honestly more concerned with the turnovers than the penalties, like by a good amount. So if there's anything that I'm more worried about, I'm not so much worried about the penalties as I am the turnovers.
Right on. Nice question from our buddy Robbie Snyder here. Will Drake May get more yards than Josh Allen? Do you think Josh Allen will need to throw for as many yards as Drake May? I think the Patriots offense may need Drake to throw and get more yards through the air than Allen might need to. What do you guys think about Robbie's question here?
So, fun fact, Drake May has never thrown for 300 yards. Some quarterbacks you have, Johnny Manziel, Dan Orlovsky, I think Jamarcus Russell even did it. So, I don't know. And to be fair, I would like the team to score more points. Josh throws 0 yards, but we win the game. That's fine with me. I would think Josh is going to throw for more yards, just because he generally does. But as long as they win the game, I don't care, and I can promise you Josh doesn't care. So win the game, we'll figure it out. The box score after.
Yeah, if he has another Pittsburgh game where he throws 123 yards, I could care less, and as long as it's a win.
I'm out on him.
But I will say I will be the fan that says, Josh Allen, I don't think his first 300-yard game till 2019.
Yeah, week 1, year 3. I know, but don't ruin the good stat with the truth.
I had to be that guy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if it ends up being a game where they're throwing the ball well, but we're just running it down their throat, taking time off, keeping the defense off the field, and being able to do that, that's fine with me. Like Scott said, though, I would probably expect Allen to finish this game with more, just because I don't think it will be that type of game. I think that it will be a close game where they're going to have to throw the ball. But, by all means, if Josh has to do less, I'm completely fine with that. And you just let James Cook go and let Ty Johnson get involved, Ray Davis, get all of them going. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bills' game plan may be to run the ball more than the Patriots are probably going to in their game plan. So they had pretty good success with Diggs and others in the passing game in Buffalo, and I think they may try to capitalize on that. But we do know the Bills' rush defense hasn't been the best either, so maybe they'll go the opposite and see if they can play bully ball on their offense. But I just think the Patriots are going to need to or try to throw more than the Bills will need to or try to. So that may give the yards advantage to May. But again, like you said, I agree. Winning the game is what's most important. But it's still a fun question Robbie brought up. So I appreciate you, Robbie. Thanks for the comment. Ben, take us through the defensive preview here.
Yeah. Last game, as we all know, Stephon Diggs had a phenomenal game, was doing it in every which way. Although we also know that this is a lot different than that game. It's at this point, 10 weeks later. So it's a long time since they've played, and a lot of things can change there. So Drake May is known for being a great deep ball thrower, probably the best deep ball thrower this year in the league. Run game still up and down for them. They've had games where they've been able to run, but most of the time it's been a struggle for them. And now with Will Campbell out there, starting left tackle, it's going to be something that the Bills are going to need to take advantage of. So for you, Scott, what does the defense, what's the number one thing that they have to shut down in order to do enough to get the win?
So I would say number one thing that they have to shut down, and kind of maybe a different angle from it, they got to figure out something with Diggs in the slot. Stephon Diggs has been lining up primarily in the slot this whole season. Our number one corner is Benford. He's only played, I think, 3 snaps in the slot all year. So unless they completely change things, Benford isn't going to follow Diggs around. Like, Diggs is going to be in the slot, and Taron Johnson is probably going to call that, or maybe Cam Lewis. And I don't know which one I'm more confident in right now, which kind of tells you about the play Taron Johnson's had this year. So that's a matchup that I would imagine the Patriots are going to try to exploit. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get coverage there, whether that's like a linebacker shading it, or we play our zones and we just kind of bracket him with a safety, a corner, and a linebacker, and try to keep him from beating us. It's going to be interesting to see what McDermott does, because in years past, it'd be like, perfect, Taron, you're going to follow him around, and that's the game plan. But that's just not realistic with the way he's been playing. So they're going to have to figure out a way to defend that. So we'll see what they do.
What do you got, Lance?
Yeah, Diggs is probably going to have to get something out there. I think they're going to give him his and try to shut down some other things. But yeah, I'm not sure how successful they can be at completely neutralizing Steph. He's been really good. He's looked pretty good this year. Really good this year, coming off an injury. It doesn't look like he's slowing down a ton. So it's if they can try to stop the run and force these guys into a passing game, I like our chances with that.
Yeah. I think number one, you can't let the run game beat you. I mean, like I said, it's been a run game that has not been something that the Patriots have had to lean on, which is not typical for, I guess, for Mike Vrabel offenses that we've seen. Obviously, completely different weapons than they had when he was in Tennessee. But yeah, I think if you're going to let the run game beat you, it's going to be a long day for this defense, because then that's going to open play action for them, and it's going to be, a field day for Drake May. So, I think the number one thing that you're going to have to do, is get some pressure on Drake May. I know that this defense hasn't been able to get consistent pressure. But yeah, you've got to, Drake May especially with Will Campbell out. You're getting a backup left tackle here, and you got to go attack him, not necessarily blitz, because if you blitz Drake May, somebody's going to, this is a receiving core that, no, it's not top in the league, but they are capable of getting open, and Drake May will find the open guy. So you got to get pressure up front somehow, run some stunts. Hopefully you can get somebody. If Bosa's back, that will be big. If not, you're going to have to get creative with it on the line. Maybe, we saw against Philly, they dropped a D tackle in the coverage. And I know people don't love that, but every once in a while, maybe once or twice this game, throw that in there so they get them thinking, so they don't know what's coming. Maybe act like you're going to blitz, drop off, get some stunts in there, like I said. So I think you're just going to have to get pressure, make Drake May uncomfortable in his own house, and see if you can kind of get some turnovers off that. You guys got anything else on what the defense has to do to win this game or slow this offense down for the Patriots?
Yeah, the other thing, the Patriots tight ends are awesome. Hunter Henry's having a career year, honestly. He has 610 yards and 5 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he's on pace to have the best, if one of the best, if not the best, year of his career. And then Austin Hooper is no slouch either. And if Diggs is in the middle of the field, the same way I talked about with if our tight ends are taking up space in the middle of the field and taking eyes to them, opening up for Shakir and Kincaid, Diggs is going to do the same thing. So if we're rolling coverage to Diggs in the slot, Henry's going to have a field day on the other side. So we can't let the tight ends beat us because those tight ends are really good. And then the other thing I mentioned during the offensive preview, just in the red zone, Patriots are towards the bottom of the league. They're bottom third in red zone touchdown percentage. Bend, don't break. They're going to move the ball. Drake May, as of right now, is the MVP. Like, argue with the wall. He is. Him or Stafford. But I would probably lean towards Drake May just because Stafford hasn't been as good recently. Like, they're going to move the ball. We just got to hold them to field goals. So, win in the red zone. Don't let the tight ends beat you. And like you said, Lance, Diggs is going to get hits. He's too good not to. How many times have we seen it here when he was in Buffalo where Diggs has a great game, no one else does anything, and we're kind of struggling. So, don't let the supporting cast beat you and hold them to field goals.
Yeah, if they want to try to beat us with field goals, go right ahead. I'm confident Josh Allen can beat 10 field goals. Like, I don't really.
Well, I think you're going to try to beat us with field goals. We're going to have to make them beat us with field goals.
Yeah, and who knows what the weather's going to be like? It's up in New England. Who knows if you force
meteorologists.
They
change
do
3 times between now and then anyway. So
yeah, that's the whole thing. But
know what they say about the weather in Boston? Don't like it. Wait an hour.
There you go. I Scott, I agree. The tight ends, I think that's going to be a tough matchup. I don't know how much I've loved the Teron Johnson, Cam Lewis combo at nickel, trying to get on. I would assume they would try to get on Hunter Henry potentially. I'm not sure who exactly. Maybe Milano gets out there and does some things with him, but
bring Poyer down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And I'm interested to see how they're probably only going to be able to focus on a couple of things. They obviously are going to have to give a little bit here and there naturally through their game plan. But Diggs and the tight ends sound like a good starting point. I just think they really have to continue to make a point to want to stop the run. They talked about wanting to stop the run is the biggest thing in their success to doing so. And they've got to show that again this week, because even though we're worried about, or we're talking about more of the passing game, the quarterback has been prolific passing, the options there at tight end and receiver have all been decent all year, but you got to want to stop the run still. And Ramondre Stevenson hasn't had a great season. He doesn't have a lot of yards per carry. His analytics aren't all that great either. So
he's not the number one. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they roll him out there or if they take Travion Henderson.
No, Henderson has doubled. Henderson took over that job
since he's been back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't play last week, so I guess I'm not sure. 2 weeks ago they played the Giants, so I'm sure they were pretty lenient on that rotation.
His first game back he had 6. His first game back he had 6 carries. His second game back he had 12, and it was a blowout. So like he would have had more if he was the guy. Where Henderson had 18 and 11. Yeah, Henderson's the guy.
Yeah,
but he's still yards per carry has not exactly been the greatest. If I'm not mistaken,
4.8.
But
the game not bad.
The game before that in the non-blowout, didn't he? Wasn't like 2 points.
No, I'm saying 4.8 is his average for the year. That's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. He's had some big games.
For Henderson, you're saying, but Ramondre Stevenson's 3.2, and
that's why he don't start no more.
That's right, and that's why So, fantasy players start and sit. We'll move on to that. Scott, take us through this fun game.
It's a great game. Army-Navy game is what I'm starting. Can't get more American than Army and Navy playing football against each other. It's a really fun game every year. I make it a personal challenge, and I bet the over, which is dumb because both teams run the option, and it hits like once every 5 years, but I have fun with it. And this year it's right here in Baltimore, so that's pretty cool. been some cool stuff being set up this week in the city for the game. So excited to go check that out on Saturday and go Navy.
All right. I was going to ask you which side of the fence you're on there. So got that out of the way. What are you going to sit?
Usually Navy. What?
Who are you going to sit? Or what are you going to sit?
I'm sitting the NBA Cup. It's stupid. I understand why they did it, to make money. People like money, but it's stupid. The players don't really care. I mean, they care in the championship because they get money each, but there were 4 decent NBA games the past 2 nights. They were all blowouts. Like none of them were great. I'm not a big fan of it. It's not soccer. We don't play mid-season tournaments over here in America. So I'm sitting the NBA Cup.
To be fair, somebody does have to stop the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. It's kind of getting crazy.
I don't know if they will.
And and they have 2 picks that probably are going to be lottery picks. One of them with the Jazz if it's outside the top 8, and then the other one is the Clippers, which that is looking like it's going to be top 3. So
the Clippers are so bad they cut the one guy who cared.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, I guess we'll see how that goes. But start and sit. Start. I'm gonna go sit first. Actually, I'm gonna say sit Josh Allen. Not because I think he's gonna play bad, but because I think if you want to get to the red zone, I think it might be a James Cook type of day where he's the one getting in the end zone. And I think Josh, he's not gonna. Again, I don't think he'll play bad. He just might not get the touchdowns that you need in fantasy. So just with how bad New England is in the red zone, James Cook might just be the guy. So that's gonna be my sit. My start, I don't really have a start right now, to be honest. I guess the Boston Celtics, because they're better than the New York Knicks. Sorry, Lance. But for my start, I will go with, I think Dawson Knox can do two straight games of having a day. Maybe he gets in the end zone. So I'll go Dawson Knox.
Hey, all right. Got a Pitts touchdown there for my fantasy team in the playoffs here. So that's a good night right there. I'm going to start. I would say if you're looking for a flex to play and you don't have any other option, or you don't have a lot of better options, Kyle Williams might be a good option here if the Bills are trying to get down and stop the run. There you go. The receiver for the Patriots. He could get one over the top here if the Bills are trying to get down and stop the run and focusing on the guys over the middle. You may be able to see Kyle Williams get a touchdown. And, if you're looking for a flex play, that would be something to consider. And then Dalton Kincaid is the Bills start for me. I think that unlike Ben said, I think he may assume the top tight end role. Hopefully he's going further towards being fully healthy and a full go, and hopefully they can use him to exploit a couple of matchups this weekend and really help out the offense when James Cook is not running the ball. And then I'm going to sit Ramondre Stevenson. Makes it a lot more sense. Obviously, if he's not going to be the lead back, but if you have him and you're looking to play him, I would look elsewhere, obviously. So with that, let's get into some game predictions here. If you have game predictions, throw them in the comments and we'll throw them up here and discuss them. Ben, what's your game prediction?
Every week I get worse with these. I never know. It's just, you never know. I'm going to go 27-27. It's going to end in a tie. Why not?
Amazing. Last week I will say I picked 38-33. It was 39-34. So I was probably as close as I've gotten since the Raiders game a few years ago when I hit it right on the head. So I love doing this.
Scott, do you know what close counts in?
Horseshoes, hand grenades, and strip poker.
Yes. So sorry, Lance.
That's what my high school tech teacher said. Anyway,
haven't heard the last one.
I don't really get the last one, but he did.
Yeah. What do you got for a score prediction, buddy?
I'm unfortunately going 27-20 Patriots.
Boo.
I know I said earlier the Bills going on the road in the playoffs might not be a big deal, but this isn't the playoffs yet, and the Bills aren't the same team on the road this season. I think
Patriots coming off a bye week, right? I mean, that's
like for
factor.
yet another game, 2 weeks in a row, the Bills have a rest disadvantage. Didn't matter last week, but maybe it will this week. And they've won 10 in a row. They're red hot. And they have a chance to win the division, and I think that's going to mean a little more to them than it will to us. But I will say this: it's hard to beat a team 3 times, so remember that for the playoffs.
Absolutely. I'm going to go 34-24 Bills. I just think the Bills have been so good in December, and they are also finding their stride at this point. They're going to get some guys back and get healthy. I think we see at least a very competitive game. I mean, Scott's score does suggest it still may be competitive, but and Ben's score certainly would be a competitive game. But I think the Bills come out on top because I'm the ultimate homer here in the middle, and I'll gladly wear that flag all day long. So with that being said, that's our show. We really appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, thank you to 71 Slicks Barbershop, Lancaster Indoor Bounce House with the Safari Arcade. Shout out to the Big Tree Inn for hosting us at home games and the tailgates that we do out there right next to 97 Rock and the Water Buffalo Club 716. All great people to be around, and we really appreciate that. Also, shout out to Wingnuts for giving us the opportunity to stop over there so often and have some opportunities with some of the Bills players as well. Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center as well, and Team Lammy out there doing good things with that podcast. That debuted today at 7 with Joe Andreessen. So if you get a chance, go over on YouTube to Buffalo Under the Helmet and check them out as well. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.